Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the BroNation Community Parade, hosted by the beautiful town of Summerdale. I am your host, Masked Bandit, and I have with me, as always, my bro N7, Mike. Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing great, and it is a gorgeous day in the town of Summerdale, and we're going to be seeing some amazing floats today.
I am so excited. We have 45 floats, all designed by members of BroNation, the Discord community that Mike and I host, and the only parameters where you need to keep these general dimensions of the rigs we provided and stay under 8 meters tall. And 45 people decided to take up 8 meters tall. What are you most excited for this, actually?
You know, I love a good set of rules, and I feel like everybody followed them really well, and we won't see any floats that are more than 8 meters tall.
Not a single one, especially not the last one. We have some amazing things lined up. Even if you aren't a member of BroNation, I think you're going to really like this. This is sort of our community's send-off and homage to Planet Coaster 1 as we all anxiously and excitedly await the sequel. With that being said, let's jump right into the parade. Our first float today is Moin Wagon by Mr. E. Max Magnus. A beautiful float. Moin represents a greeting on BroNation. Mike, can you tell us more about what Moin means?
Sure, it means whatever you want it to mean. It could mean morning, could mean afternoon, could be good night, could mean get away from me, could mean
Get
anything.
away from me. Oh, but it's always a greeting. That's what I've understood. I don't know. I don't speak the German. Mike, you've given awards to all these floats. What award have you given to the Moin float?
Yes, this is the tallest combination of letters that mean something float.
Oh, letters do mean something, even if they're in a different language. And I love the trident on the back of this float. It's really awesome. As well as the full coaster we got cooking here.
Absolutely.
Lovely stuff. Love it, Emax. Up next, we have the Noin float by Gem Knight 657. If you don't know what Moin is, you're going to be even more confused now, because Noin is sort of the antithesis of Moin. It's the anti-Moin.
And that's why they have the anti-trident on there.
That's right, the red trident is the anti-trident. When you do something really bad on BroNation, we give you the anti-trident. And if you keep it up, we're going to put you in the boo box.
Well, this one won the not tallest combination of letters that also means something. The Moin is just a little bit taller.
Fair point. I do love the ombre on the Noin, though, very well as the Moin, but you know. And if you don't know, the boo box is where we put naughty BroNation citizens. That is why there is an ox in there. Yeah, the boob ox. It was a Hook reference, but not anymore. Up next, we have Chief Beef by E.J. Jonesy. Love the Chief Beef. Love the nod to the IPs of Planet Coaster, as well as the use of some of the police animatronics.
Yes, I think Chief Beef was one of the first ones that we were kind of greeted with.
Oh, and I think he just got dropped recently on Twitter or on TikTok. Anyway, tell me what award you decided to give this float.
This is the greatest depiction of a meat-based character IP float.
He is a meat-based character.
That's a blender of words.
And you got through it like a champ. I do like the simple use of the cornice and this lovely little building that actually blends in really nice with the Summerdale fire station that this float is currently floating on by. Convenient how
yes,
that worked out.
Believe this was made with Ghostbuster pieces, but we don't talk about that anymore.
That doesn't really exist anymore. Next up, we have The Wave by Toxic Mischief. Lovely float, and I love the saying, waving goodbye to an old friend. Kind of sentimental.
Yeah, kind of a frenemy at times, but certainly more friendly than enemy.
I would say so. Penko's been a friend to me. Man, that makes me feel real sad.
This one won the most use of spheres that you can see on a float.
There are a ton of art-shaped spheres on here. And if you're confused about the archers, that's what we use for scale. A lot of time, we are very all about scale in BroNation, and the archer is the perfect height of an in-game peep. The other animatronics, just a little too tall.
Yes, weirdly, they are larger than humans.
Not weirdly, because they've doubled down in Planet Coaster 2. Awesome job, Toxic Mischief. Love this float. Awesome stuff. I'm sorry, I can't look at this float without giggling. Next up we have Windows as Walls by Parabolic Phantom. Such a fun float.
I believe everything in here besides the roof, but maybe the roof as well, is made with windows.
Even the hands.
Yeah, even the hands, yes.
They're so round.
This one, the doofiest non-IP character float. There's going to be a few non-IP character floats, and this one is the doofiest.
I love it, and I want to see it make a return in Planet Coaster 2. I love Windows as Walls. People, things. And I know that on BroNation, this creator asked for feedback, and we said double down on showing the windows for Windows as Walls. And boy, howdy, if you didn't double down.
You know what? That could be a character in our park that is like an information character or something like that. Yes,
I love it. Next up, we have moderator of BroNation, silent member with their float, Santa Bish. A nod to their long-standing Planet Coaster Park Santa Bish Boardwalk. What a gorgeous float.
It is a very gorgeous float. It did win the best use of foliage for a park that doesn't have any float.
It is a pretty concretized project, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember there being a single tree in that park, but I could be wrong.
I'm sure there's at least one, but good use there, silent member, by using the minimal foliage options we have in Planet Coaster. You almost made it look like this was made in Planet Zoo.
Surprisingly colorful, yeah.
It's
for
beautiful.
Not having a whole lot of options.
Also love the Monster Energy. I remember that from the park. Love to see it. Just so much great color and design overall. Real solid.
Gorgeous.
Real solid. I don't know what that dragon is, though. Oh, up next, we have the Sap Punk float by I Got Sap. Originally planning to use the Ghostbusters music, but unfortunately that is copyright protected. So the creators, the organizers of the float decided to use some royalty-free music, and so that's what you are currently hearing.
Would you just look at that band? It is quite amazing to see. And this won the best use of holographic musicians if it were working properly.
I do believe the Ghostbusters music sort of cued us into the fact that Spectres are the band here. I had no idea there were this many TMTK musical instruments on the workshop.
I'm sure it made loading times wonderful.
Not as bad as Conifer Slopes. Up next, we have one of 5 balloons created by SP Ridley, resident BroNation artist, and he decided to make floats for us because what he made for his float was just too big for our rule set. So he turned them into float balloons, and we decided to let him go ahead and show them off here. I love Captain Lockjaw, but I never found a good place to put him in my projects.
Well, you never really had a full pirate,
I know,
straight up pirate area,
right?
That could have worked in Conifer Slopes.
Oh, you think so? Maybe in the wharf area?
Yeah, in the harbor area.
Yeah, but then I would have had
Then
I would have had to make like a work zone, and those are really a pain in the butt in Planet Coaster. So I didn't do that.
I'm sure. No, you just strand your characters.
Oh, options, I suppose. Yes. Next, we have Afloat by That Goose. I named it Afloat because there was no official name with the submission, so we're just going to call it Afloat. And lots of interesting animatronics on this float, and I really like the use of the in-game track as like a part of the float. That's pretty cool.
I like these little vignettes as they're kind of going by. They kind of show all the little themes off. This one, the best float, that is also named Afloat.
Oh, well, there you go. It is indeed.
Do
we ever figure out what those little fantasy monster things are? I don't know what they are.
Aardvarks.
Oh.
But not at all.
Oh, I was going to say, is that really what they are?
No, I don't know what they are.
Oh, okay, I don't either. But I also love the TMTK Gulpy waving. Pretty sure that's not in-game.
Pretty sure.
But it works really, really well. I really enjoy it. Up next, we have the Citrus/Ocean Falls float by Mr. Blue Jay or Blue Jay. I'm going to say Blue Jay because that makes more sense. Lovely, colorful, I love the shape. Very round.
Very round. So round that it won the most round with rides popping out of the ground float.
So many rides popping out of the ground. Most of them even recognizable. It's pretty cool. I think I appreciate the ones that are clearly beams or art shapes. Like the vertical drop coaster is very cool, but that, I mean, I know that's TMTK. I really love this, the wheel here with the blue and yellow and red. That's really, really cool. I like that a lot. And the logo's excellent. Oh my goodness, that Cedar Fair logo. Or is it Six Flags logo now, I suppose?
Fantastic. Cedar Flags, I believe.
No. Is it? It's Six Flags, but they just kept the font of Cedar Fair, right? I don't know. Up next we have Thank You by Dummy Thick Josh, a tribute to some Planet Coaster creators in a graveyard setting with some TMTK Nathans.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this float.
It gives me the spoopy.
You're welcome. This one did win the best way to misspell Silverette float.
I mean, if you're going to misspell it, at least be creative. No offense, of course, Dummy Thick Josh, just poking funs. If you're curious what the Nathans are, they're TMTK pieces for people that choose to use as few in-game pieces as possible, like the Archer. It serves the exact same purpose, but it's just an extra download for you. I do like the coaster that's sticking out of
As
the
angel wings, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of nifty. Up next, we have Spoopy Float by Emperor Fraggle. Love the spoopy vibes. Also really appreciate that he called it spoopy and not spooky. And this sort of begins our tribute to some of the DLCs of Planet Coaster.
Yes, this was a very important one. I think there's actually 2 floats in this parade that have a spooky theme. And this won the biggest spider on a float. Look at that nice big spider right there.
That's true. That is a giant spider. And I do like that it's hanging over the edge. That's super cool. Also love the Scarecrow Rider being pulled by the skeletal horses. I don't know if those are the same horses that I use in Conifer Slopes, but if they are, they're an awesome workshop item. Really love it. And I love a good pumpkin. Like, so nice. Up next, we have Adventure Float by Sean TP Fan. And as someone who's currently finishing up an adventure project, I've really come to appreciate this. Is that a cannon full of bats?
I believe that is a cannon full of bats.
It's a cannon full of bats. That is not an adventure piece. Just gonna say. That is wild. I did not know that was in the game. I love that there are so many pieces that people are using that I don't even recognize. What award did this one win, Mike?
This won the greatest use of gold spray paint on a float.
Oh, yeah, that snake is very gold. Absolutely.
Very gold.
I love the mummies, too. Adventure Pack is a really fun pack. Having played with it a bunch, I've really come to appreciate it. Like, a lot of really heavy theme and style in that pack. Not to mention those temple pieces that were awesome. Up next, we have Art Deco Studios by Shadram. And I love this float because it has Dream, Build, and Repeat on one side, which is a perfect opportunity to play some of the Planet Coaster soundtrack.
Absolutely. This won best use of animatronics on a float, and it's mostly for that fighting scene on the other side.
Which we'll get a good look at in a second, which is why we put this one here, is it's sort of a nod to the Studios pack here with our lovely directors. Here we have a scene from Ghostbusters, R.I.P. Ghostbusters pack. But we have the Planko Studios on this side. I love the dichotomy. We have 2 distinct scenes, yet they sort of work together, don't they?
Absolutely.
It's just such a nice idea, and the music of Planet Coaster is so good. Those Marshall speakers are everywhere in this float. I didn't even know they existed. Oh, up next we have Vintage Float by Wondero. Lovely float using, again, pieces I didn't know exist. I had no idea there was an animatronic monkey in the game. But yeah, this float is lovely, very colorful. Can you tell us, Mike, what award did you give it?
This won the most Mardi Gras colored without actually being Mardi Gras themed float.
Fair point. This is looking very New Orleans, which is not a problem at all. Good job using those giant letters that came with the vintage pack. And I love the penguins on the back using the umbrella to protect themselves from the late summer sun.
I think vintage was my favorite pack just because it was like full all in on art style.
Oh, fair point. Man, favorite pack. I don't know. It might be Studios for me. I think that's one of my favorites. Oh. Up next, we have Princess Amalia, another balloon provided to us by SP Ridley. Do you have a favorite mascot?
I do. I think I like Miss Ellie the most.
Oh, the Wild West gal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good fun. Actually, I dropped her in Conifer Slopes. She fit really well in that area. I think my favorite, I'm going to go OG. I'm a really big fan of King Coaster.
Oh, of course.
His doofy sounds are so good. Which mascot from Planet Coaster 2 are you most excited about?
Oh, God.
You don't have to know their name, what they look like. I like the cactus a lot.
The cactus is funny, but
he's goofy. I like him a lot.
Oh, Queen
and
Splash.
The little Jacques Cousteau guy is fun. Okay, you're gonna go Queen Splash, King Coaster, but the female variant. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, up next we have Small Float by Ruby. One of my personal favorites. I love how intentionally tiny it is. It's so good. And all the details.
It's kind of insane how small this thing is, considering we don't have the scale tool yet.
Right?
Or any of this.
Yeah, and intentionally so. This is kind of Ruby's, and to be fair, Fat Pigeon's vibe as well. They are creating Small Park, which if you aren't watching it on YouTube, you need to now.
It's funny that you said the word intentionally, because this did win the most intentionally tiny float.
Oh, almost like we've already recorded this once and my audio was completely scuffed.
That might have been. I don't know.
That might have been a thing.
2 fingers of tequila in, and the room changed.
It's only like 11 o'clock in the fictitious morning, Mike. What are you doing?
Oh,
Up next, we have For the Community by Mr. Domez, long-standing BroNation member. Oh, and I do believe I hear a little bit of Record a Girl from Ipanema. And he's, do you remember this? Well, this is one of the obstructions. This is one of the things that still exists in the game.
I finally noticed it on this go. The path is obstructed, and it's saying obstructed.
It is. That's the point.
Yeah, this one the most aggravating subject matter float.
Are you ready for all those restrictions to come back?
Let's not talk about that.
Look, there's an ocarina. Oh my god. Oh, they're free.
They're free.
What a deep dive. If you're watching this and not a member of BroNation, you have no idea what's going on. Join BroNation.
That is where you got the tuberculosis.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's not. Next up, we have the BN Cemetery by Nitro 230. And his is a very tongue-in-cheek nod to all the failed Planet Coaster projects. And I'm going to take umbrage to this one right here that's the tallest of them all, Bro Coaster Season 2. Just you wait, buddy. Make sure you watch
Yes, absolutely. This one, the most depressingly accurate float, because a lot of these projects did end up dying somewhere along the way.
Geekism Studios, Project Canopy. I think I saw Diamond Pine. I don't know what that is either. Silver Lake Park. So many good projects. I do know he had to cut down the number of tombstones because he couldn't fit them all. There's just that many projects we didn't finish.
I don't actually see mine on there anymore.
No, I think he had to cut it. My studio park isn't on there either. Up next, the music of Plinko by Phileas. Phileas. And I love this subdued float. And I love, one of my favorite things of Planet Coaster is the soundtrack.
Yeah. So good.
It's just so nice. What award did this win?
This one uses Yumi and Gravity. This one got the maximum chill float.
Yeah.
Because the subject matter is super chill.
Yeah. I am hoping that they release the Planet Coaster 2 soundtrack on vinyl so I don't miss out like I did with Planet Coaster 1. We got a vinyl player after the fact, and I'm very excited, so I hope they do.
Nice.
Yeah. Next up is Nile Crocodile by Leaf. A fun float that kind of pays homage to Planet Zoo with some of the in-game Nile crocodiles.
Oh, well, this lovely float here, It did win an award. It's the most out of place for the game we're celebrating float.
A little tongue-in-cheek, but it's all good. Leaf, if you don't know, is an amazing Planet Zoo player, and you need to check out their content on YouTube if you haven't already, because they're very good. And this float is super fun, and considering the limited resources you have to make a zoo float, good on you, Leaf. Enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
I like the vines a lot, and the little leaky, like the tank is leaking. I love this one. Up next is Reginalds Tall Float by DistortionMe. This person enjoys the pros. Someone got a look at my document of lore, or I just talked that much about it, and this little ship is covered in Easter eggs for BroCoaster's lore.
Yes.
I love the newspaper.
It's
so good.
This one, the tallest ship in the parade float.
It is the tallest ship in the parade. Look at this is derby stand. I love it. I had a hard time filming all the best parts of this float because it's just so good.
Yeah.
I love it. Up next, we have Archer for Scale by BroNation moderator Simtanic. Just an absolute ode to the Archer. And it's just amazing. I love everything about this.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is awesome. The Archer is our god in Planet Coaster. And so this won the greatest celebration of a non-IP character float. Not doofiest, greatest.
Greatest. I see our distinction between Windowsless Walls and Archer for Scale. Same vein, different qualifications. And I think I love that disco ball. It's kind of out of left field, but it really seems to fit. As well as the...
It's a party.
Yeah, as well as the golden chest coaster. And that carousel, man, that's so clever. If that's just art shapes, I'm just gobsmacked, because that's so good.
It has to be, right?
I don't know. And clearly this track is not a real track. It's so good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, look at your favorite mascot in balloon form. We have Miss Ellie, again, by SP Ridley. Good stuff.
Yeah, so good. Like, he's an actual artist, so that's why he can make the original characters look as amazing as they are.
Right.
Down to their proportions.
Yeah, we know working with art shapes is a science and an art in and of itself, but man, if it isn't a challenge, I can do 2D okay, but 3D, absolutely not.
That's where it ends for you.
Yeah, I am a 2D critter, for sure. Up next, we have the BNCP 2019 float by Because Race Car, a celebration of the one and only official meetup and official thing we as a community ever did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This won the greatest throwback to an official event.
The only event.
And this has all of the people that were at the event and also a throwback to things lost in that event.
Shut up. To be fair, I did buy several pairs of pants with zipper pockets after this trip.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I love that it is Steel Vengeance on one side and my wallet on the other.
Nope, never found.
And my wallet does win the hide and seek champion of 2019. God, that just... way to rub salt, Because Race Car. Up next, one of my personal favorites as a musician is the BroNation Big Band Float by Casual Tycoon. Just a really well-designed float.
Yeah, the art style on it is so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Everything works really well together. I love the bulbs on the shapes themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of tie it all together. I love the cables to make sure that things are actually plugged in and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
This won the most musical shapes on a float.
That's awesome. Now that we're doing this for at least the second time, I now understand musical shapes does not imply just instruments.
Correct.
So there are at least 5 musical shapes on this float. I understand now.
Oh, no.
Up next is Reactions by Strake. And that Patrick, I think I had a nightmare about him last night. Not gonna lie.
Oh, no. Well,
I love it.
It did win the most nightmare-fueled Patrick star on a float. Congratulations.
It kind of looks like quasi-chewed-up bubblegum.
Yeah. Yeah, when it goes to 3D, it gets a little weird.
Art shapes are so hard, and I get it. We have an emote on BroNation that is exactly that. It's so funny. Good on you for getting her done. Like, that's pretty cool. Also, the eggplant. Like, you love a good eggplant.
And they're all in a giant coaster train. It does look awesome.
Yeah, it does. It's a great flow. We don't mean to rag. I do love it. I love that you went for it and made a Patrick emote. That's so funny. I think it's great. Up next, we have Pirates by 89 James 89. A lovely nod to one of the original themes in Planet Coaster that apparently isn't being returned for Planet Coaster 2.
Not yet, at least. DLC does exist.
So I gotta... Never mind.
Well, this one, the greatest just for the lads float.
Just for the lads. That's fun. I don't quite understand what that means, but I'll roll with it.
It's a theme just for the lads.
Okay, cool. I see some girl pirates on there too, but whatever.
Shut up. Shut up.
Good use of those spooky windows. Those dormer or circle windows are really hard to use, but on a ship makes a ton of sense. And I still don't know what those pieces are on the top there with those details in them.
I'm going to say vintage still.
Okay. Up next, we have Spooky Pack Tribute by Dialer Turdin. If I was giving awards, I'd give awards for the best username to Dialer Turdin.
It is good.
But it also an amazing float. So good.
It is awesome. It got the greatest use of a gargoyle float. I'm pretty sure gargoyles were in the game, right?
I think so. I used one when I made my dark ride. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
I love the dripping blood. That is so good.
It is very well done. Altogether, it's very well done.
Yep. I love all the things busting out of the windows and the witch shooting her pyrotechnics into the sky. It's just a very dynamic design. And then, of course, the flaming-eyed Pumpkin King on the back here. Good stuff. Love to see it. And up next, we have the Grand Carousel by Redline 682, another mod of BroNation. And he's kind of known in the community for being our go-to carousel designer.
Yes, I believe he has designed almost every carousel cover in almost every park that we've ever done.
And only a fraction of them have made it to completion.
Well, it happens.
But an absolute lovely design.
This one, the greatest depiction of the greatest vintage flat ride float.
Oh, I do love the Grand Carousel. I don't think it's in the base game of Planet Coaster 2, and I'm a little about it.
Well, not without pre-order, but yeah.
But anyway, we're not here to rag on Planet Coaster 2. Up next, we have Circus
video.
Wagon Trailer by Toxic Mischief. Interesting design, interesting float, and the circus vibe is interesting. I like that it says Nation Brothers Circus, kind of like Ringling Bros. That's cool.
Yeah.
And an homage to the community. What did this win?
Well, this won the most wagon of a circus wagon float prize.
I'm sorry, come again?
The most wagon of a circus wagon float.
There's a lot of wagon in that title, and there's a lot of wagon on the float, so I'm going to understand. It does say Jaunty's Amazing Traveling Circus. Perhaps this is an inside joke that I don't understand.
Maybe something to do with Pinewood? I don't really remember.
I don't either. Up next, we have Zoom and Float by CTRS Industries for Ryan. A lovely float with some banging music. Just beautiful design. If this man can... I'm kind of angry at this guy because he's just too good at everything.
Yeah, I don't know what some of these pieces are, honestly. They might be from his park?
Well, the big tree is an Animal Crossing piece, apparently. But nonetheless, what sort of award did we give it?
Well, this won the most unifying message float because, as you see right here, it's for all Zoomin' kind.
Oh, isn't that cute? I notice how a lot of them are very tongue-in-cheek. This one's kind of genuine.
Yeah,
Awards.
It's hard to give this one a tongue-in-cheek award when it looks so good.
Up next is Tiki Cheeki, again a balloon by SP Ridley. And I love this design, however, in float form, I'm not sure his head would be on fire.
I don't know how you could get a propane tank up there, but you know.
Also, if you're noticing the floats, why some are here and some aren't, I do believe these are the mascots that are not going to be returning in Planet Coaster 2.
That's sad.
Which we'll get into that a bit more in a little bit. Up next, we have No Name Floatlandia by John Clark 8. A lovely homage to our little park, No Name Landia, which if you haven't watched on our two channels, you absolutely need to give that a whirl. It's pretty good fun, I would say. 42 episodes of shenanigans, but don't start till episode 12.
Yeah, at least. This one, the greatest depiction of the greatest park in Planco float.
That's a little bit much, I would say. Just patting yourself on the back a little too hard. I do love how he was able to recreate so many of our structures in such tiny scale. And
they do look really good.
They're really good. And each animatronic here is actually supposed to be one of the bros that worked on No Name Landia. So thank you so much for that. Up next, we have one of my personal favorites, the Mex Salente float by Methadrone. I think this might be the most floaty float to ever float. This feels like something I would see in a parade.
Absolutely. The Day of the Dead marigolds are just incredible.
It's stunning. Just the composition is just so good. I love it.
Well, this won the best food-related IP float. Meat or otherwise.
I just kind of want to be quiet and let you watch it go by. That's how much I adore this float.
It's really well done.
I love the skeletons on top dancing. Oh my goodness. So good. Love it. Up next, we have Euro Reptar Land by Brandon. Brandon's been working on Reptar Land, I feel like, forever. And here it is in float form.
Yes. And I totally remember everything about this project.
I know about the source more than I remember the project. Reptar is the TV show that the cartoon Rugrats watch on Nickelodeon. And I don't know who the snail is, but I do know the little Rugrat characters love watching Reptar. It's their favorite. And apparently Reptar Euroland is a theme park, kind of like Euro Disneyland. I'm going to assume.
Well, this won the most active fire on a highly flammable float.
There's tons of fire on this float. It looks like it's on a bouncy castle. It's very good, though. I love these art-shaped critters, though. I love the menace in that snail. I don't know if that's what's implied, but there are some strong vibes. That snail is feeling things, and I like it a lot. I also like that we have the pictures of Flame in front of Flame. That's good. Next up is the Pigeon by Deef. And this might be the doofiest float, but I adore it so much.
It is incredible. This is the greatest depiction of a Planet Coaster Chaos Agent float.
Yes, because on one side I do believe it says ruining all of your screenshots, right?
Yup. And I think it's coming to Planet Coaster 2, so
I hope. Well, I just want everyone to know Planet Coaster has always had birds. Take that, Planet Zoo. I think
I do like the poop cannon.
Yeah. I do believe that's supposed to be a poop cannon. And while I love it, I think my favorite part are the pigeon helmets of the people on the float. That cracks me up.
That's
the
hilarious.
doofy eyeballs are so good on this. I love it so much. And up next, we have Just Planet Zoo by Nicholas Lionrider, a very strong Planet Zoo player. Love this float. Again, very animal-centric, as one would expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first one won the most out of place for the game we're celebrating float. Well, this one won the most out of place for the game we're celebrating ×2 plus Pride Rock float.
Oh, that's that plus Pride. That's so hard to say. Plus Pride Rock. Anyway.
Yeah, I've done it all the times.
Well, I haven't done them any. So I love all the animals. Like, it is a very well-designed, very beautiful float. It's wonderful. So don't forget, friends, you don't need Planet Zoo to create a zoo. It'll just be a lot worse if you build it in Planet Coaster.
Maybe.
Up next, we have SP Ridley's entry, Farewell to the Mascots. It does look like the mascots on this float will not be making a return to Planet Coaster 2, and SP Ridley wanted to send them off in style with this float. And just look at this amazing art shape work.
Yeah, the detail is incredible. Like, again, just the way he's able to get all of the details in the art style. This is the best farewell to our favorite coffee-toting mascot float.
Oh, yeah, Foxy, which I do believe we will see in greater detail coming right up. But yeah, there we go. Look at it's weird to think that these guys aren't going to be in the next game. Maybe
so
later
good.
down the line. I mean, they did include new mascots with DLCs, correct? I hope. Yeah, the adventure for sure. Anyway, up next we do have Foxy the Balloon by SP Ridley, which we made last in this parade because it's sort of special. SP Ridley is the designer and creator and contest winner. He created the Foxy character that is in all of our versions of Planet Coaster.
Yep. And the best mascot, the best character, and yeah.
Yeah, him and the person who created Tiki Cheeki were community winners. Isn't that incredible? Up next, we have It's Fine, We're Done by Duct Tape Forum. And if there's one sentence to describe BroNation right now, I believe it's this.
Yes, a lot of people are trying to finish their projects right now, and then they're like, oh yeah, this is why we didn't play this game for so long.
It's a struggle.
Well, this one won the most accurate feeling when attempting to complete a park project in Planet Coaster Float.
I think my thing that makes me feel the strongest is the dumpster fire. That's how I feel a lot of times when playing these games. It's a game.
That's where a lot of your ideas end up, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think one time in a Bro Coaster episode, I said, like, this is just a game. And you're like, There you go.
Yeah, it's not.
No, that's not how I do. It's a form of torture. Lovely.
I like the cup. I don't remember there being a gold cup piece.
That's pretty cool. Up next, we have glorious screen mounts by BroNation moderator Mineral. And this is a tongue-in-cheek reference to an episode of Bro Coaster where he used screen mounts as, like, souvenirs and not phallic at all. Not phallic at all.
Not phallic in one instance.
Not a little bit.
Well, this won the best snubbing of the original Gangster Snowman's Pipe Piece float.
That is a deep, deep cut, Mike. I'm not sure anyone's going to know that. Like, first couple months, right?
I believe so. Well, yeah, because we only had the Snowman's Pipe for any sort of small black piece.
That's right.
That's what we used.
That's right. Snowman Pipe. And, of course, now we have screen mount, which I do use. It makes a perfect pupil. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, goodness. Next, we have the Kinder Float by our monotone friend, Kinder Lee. Kinder Lee made Kinder Float, and another personal favorite of mine. I love that all the energy and personality of the float is in the music.
Yep, but I think it's also all of Kinderly's personality has been put into this
I think
float.
that's a fair assumption. Absolutely. What did it win?
This won the most terrifying Planet Bro Coaster mascot float. We'll probably be returning.
Wouldn't you just die if they made a Kinderbot mascot in Planet Coaster? That would be just peak. I love this float so much. From the Fudge to DJ Fudge to the entertainer who's pointing at the crowd. Everything about this float.
He's rizzing them up.
Wow, way to use the language of Generation Alpha. Tapping into that younger
Skibbity
gen.
toilet.
Oh, shut up. Up next, we have Trident Winner, another float by moderator Simtanic 8. Love, love, love this float. If you didn't know, at BroNation, we used to have a competition. It was a screenshot competition called Trident. We don't have it anymore.
Yeah, and on that note, best creation of a screenshot competition BroNation no longer holds
I
float.
basically named the award before you gave it.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
You're such an ass.
That's fine. I'll take it. But we stopped because...
This is a really well done float.
I love the fireworks, actually. They're so good. And the neon around the gems, it's just beautiful. Just beautiful stuff.
We stopped because you jackasses just kept getting so intense about it.
I see a float that seems to have broken the rules, Mike.
Oh, that seems twice as tall as the previous float.
No, it's a half as tall. And if there's a float that's going to break the rules, it might as well be mine. This is the Season 2 float by me and my bros, except I made it all. Woo! Season 2 of BroCoaster is officially back, Bishes, and don't you think we weren't going to do it. We are going full force into the Broverse. We're taking all of that IP we've created, all of the snark, all of the stuff you love. Now we're going to throw it into a second season, except we're going to do it a little bit different.
Yeah, it's going to be highly themed. It's going to be a lot like Epic Universe, but
we are
not as crazy.
Smaller. What award did you give my float, Mike?
I gave you the smallest use of Mike in a float.
That's right. I decided to ignore half of the bros in BroCoaster with my float.
That's nice. That's nice.
Hey, I made it. I can do what I want. Woo! Oh, and that was the end of our lovely parade as the janitors sit here and will walk and begin to sweep up after our mess that we made. And this was sort of our way to say thank you to each and every one of you, both at BroNation and on YouTube, that have supported us and all of the Planet Coaster creators and made the last several years, for 7 years, just such a fun time. The friends we've made, the community we've built, and we are just so excited to do it all again with the next game next month.
If you're somehow watching this and you're not part of the BroNation Discord, please join us. We are a lot of fun, as long as you don't just start to chill.
That's right. Don't be threatened by Mike's threat. We're good fun. And we are so excited for Planet Coaster 2. If you are as well, again, join BroNation. Come hang out with us. We've got lively discussions. We'll see you all later. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you guys.